simultaneously without falling foul of some of the restrictions in place with regard to more explicitly national teaching. Here we've gone, as it were, to the sense of common struggle. This is taken from O'Donovan Rossa's Prison Line. And this is part of his own experience when he's addressing the government. The key phrase is just down here. If a man should say that Ireland, Hungary or Poland should be free, but they could not be free unless they forced their freedom, would he be guilty of treason felony? A judge might feel duty to tell them that if a man said so, he should be found guilty. But in that case, trial by jury was a mere form of tyranny instead of safeguard of liberty. The idea that, as it were, prisoners, and of course he was on trial here, and he was facing into, as far as he was concerned, a lifetime of prison imprisonment. He regarded his time in prison as equivalent to the famous Polish political prisoners of the 19th century. And then we have the use of the Polish allegory. If you have a look at your hand, which I'll just let a copy. This is, again during his trial, this is one of the things that ends up getting him a prison sentence. His writings were considered so provocative that the government argued that they effectively amounted to sedition. So this is a letter that he published in his newspaper, and where you read Poland, it simply means Ireland. When you read Russia, it means Britain. This is an exact description of what had happened to him, but he portrays it as if it had happened in Poland. So it's Warsaw, September 30th. Of course, that is supposed to be done, September 30th. On the night of the 15th incident, the Russian authorities, i.e. the British authorities, marched a company of police and a division of their spies to Parliament Street and halted at the office of the Irish people, Polish people, newspaper. The officer in command demanded admission and the doors being opened, etc., etc. And we won't read the whole thing, but it is an exact description of what had happened to him, and this sounds very redolent of what Russia was doing in Poland at that time. But the beauty of it is, towards the end, you have, as it were, the use of allegory, and then you have the use of sarcasm. The penultimate paragraph, about halfway down, the newspaper writers of Poland would be loud in their denunciations of such despotism if they saw the English government acting this way in Ireland, or the Austrian government in Hungary. But Russian influence and patronage blinds them to every act of tyranny in their own unfortunate country. You should see how the paid officials were biting their lips as I was reading this. I bet they were. Just very clever use of allegory and mockery to pointed effect. Okay, moving on now, and we're almost finished. The January uprising. One of the questions that have been asked is how much knowledge was there in Ireland of what was happening in Poland during the January uprising? Was this something that this march that O'Donovan Rossa organised, or was it something that he simply did without really knowing what was involved? Well, the answer is that there was very extensive reporting indeed of what was happening in Ireland, was happening in Poland in Ireland. The uprising, and I have to stress I'm not an expert on the January uprising by any manner of means. I understand it begins on the 21st of January 1863. On the 1st of January, you can see here that there are reports coming through that the Russian government has discovered a conspiracy in Poland. And of course, the structures that were in place that came into the open towards the end of the month were already there. 17th, just a week before the uprising, the trigger, the express trigger of the January uprising is the application of military conscription, and this is reported on faithfully. And you can see here this is the following day, so this is pretty much up to date. It's about as up to date as you will get now. 23rd of January, the day after the rising breaks out. And of course, remember that the Russians tried to impose censorship in the news broadcast as soon as they knew what was happening. According to news received here from Warsaw, considerable numbers of people have assembled in the forest in several parts of Poland with the object of preparing an insurrection. No details are yet known, but those details became apparent very, very soon. The 26th of January, you get in very great detail as to what the Russian military response is. We won't go into very many details, but the reports that were coming through to Ireland were very, very detailed. Anybody who's reading the newspapers, and O'Donovan Rossa as a journalist would do that, would know what was happening in Poland. One small little point just to to North Sea, the 17th of February, in Naples. A meeting in favour of Poland, which had been advertised for some time previously, was held today as announced, was not held today as announced. Last evening, about 100 individuals raised shouts of Poland forever. But the first symptoms of the truth, the assembly dispersed. So Naples gets 100 people out in support of Poland, and they disappear as soon as the police arrive. As you'll see, Skibereen is made of stern stuff. So this is on the 23rd of February, and this is taken from a database of newspapers that we have access to in UCC, and all these are taken from the same day. So there is lots of information that is available to anybody who wishes to look at it. And if you have a look, so just again turn to your handout, in Rossa's recollections, this gives the background to the famous march. Again, we won't need to read it, but you have a couple of pages, and many of the extracts taken from the play are taken from Rossa's own recollection. There's one very interesting, there's one thing that I really like, if you just have a look at this part. After the march takes place, all the flags and banners were put on top of O'Donovan Rossa's roof, out of the reach of the authorities. He's determined just to really provoke them. In addition to organising an illegal march, he then keeps the banners and acts as this sort of constant visual provocation to the authorities. And there you have the Cork Examiner, 9th of March 1863. You have the original report of the march. So this is a figment of our imagination. And if I have a look, I can't remember exactly where it is. Yes, if you have a look, the second column, just around here, above the Polish sympathisers, there were assembled about 6,000 persons. Naples are 100. Skibereen, about 6,000. Skibereen, which a little more than a decade before, indeed, much less than a decade before, had been smashed to bits by the famine, had been laid waste by the famine. It's 6,000 people out in support of Poland. Naples, it's 100. And the 100 disappear as soon as the police appear. As you can see from reading this report, that doesn't happen in Skibereen, and the police are faced down, and the march proceeds, regardless of whether the police like it or not. So we move on now to the play Rossa. This is where the Warsaw Uprising starts to be significant. The play Rossa was produced at the Abbey Theatre, and it had its first night on the 4th of April 1945. In the text, the playwright Roger Q, who was the first professor of Anglo-Irish literature in UCD, was an incredibly respected academic in his day, was a very good historian. He actually first started teaching in the history department in UCD before moving on to the English department, who wrote one of the best books that we have in 1966, the 50th anniversary, and who knew his Polish and his Irish history in great detail. So, 4th April at the now, as we all know, you don't write a play overnight, it takes 9 months. 1st of August, the Warsaw Uprising. February 1945, just a couple of months before the play is produced, you have the Yalta Conference, at which Poland is sacrificed once again in the interest of Russia. April 1945, the provisional government, not the government in exile, signs a mutual friendship pact with the USSR, and this, as the Poles will know, sets the clock ticking on the communist takeover of Poland. So precisely at the time that this play is being drafted and edited, the Poles are rising again. So the comments that you see in that play about the January uprising could not solely be understood as referring solely to the events of 1863. They refer to the events of nearly a few months before. And the references to tyranny and to Russian domination cannot be construed solely to O'Donovan Rossa and his events in 1863. They were referring to contemporary politics. Now, we won't go into any great detail in terms of reading the text, because this is where we get to the fun bit, which is to have a look at the march that was organised. We restaged the march. When I say we, it was Declan McCarthy, it was Skibereen last Friday night. The weather was great. So you can see here, I mean, the fellas getting dressed up were okay, but they all had the same thing. They had the collar shirts, they had the jackets, stuff like that. The women must have raided every charity shop between sort of Cork and Belfast. I mean, it was phenomenal. And here you see the banners. Now the inscriptions on these banners match the inscriptions that we had from the newspaper reports. So no more tyranny, free dignity for all nations, down with the Tsar. So the march started just as it was getting dusk. So we paraded through the town, and of course it was getting darker and darker. We had the bits of turf dipped in paraffin. And these are the O'Donovan Rossa GAA club in Skibereen. So we made sure that the symbolic element was present there also. And of course these are pretty much the same age as the young men back in O'Donovan Rossa. That's Declan McCarthy himself. I mean, what a great photograph. Now, we restaged the play in Skibereen and Skibereen. He was the lead. And that man should be on the active stage. He is, in addition to being a phenomenal organiser, he is just a great actor, and he's also a very nice gentleman. And physically, because he's tall, he's quite thin. You could not get the more perfect fit than that. The only thing I hope is that we can bring that play elsewhere, because it's an amateur production, but he has won many awards. The female lead who plays his wife has also won many All-Ireland awards, and it was a professional production in all but name. It was one of the really great privileges of the entire program. This is again when he comes up on stage. And of course here we get the poles in. That's it, the neighbourhood went to pot. As soon as the poles arrived, we just went on. And I know some of you will recognise some of these people here. Isa, who's one of the principal people involved in the My Cork group. And we have here, and you'll see what's on the reverse. This is one of the great images. This is up on the Polish Embassy website. So this is one of the banners. This is the Phoenix. You don't quite get the full view of the Phoenix, but the Phoenix itself was carried through the town, and it's just a great image. So we'll try to get some of this footage. Okay. how big the parade was, because it keeps going back and back. And of course, the numbers of people in the parade, there are far more in the town square. As you're going on, the crowd gets bigger and bigger. This was taken by me on my little teachable camera, so the quality is not as good visually, although you actually do get the sound. This is the scene from the play. Now they edited it out to keep it manageable for the public performance. So this is Declan McCarthy here. So just try and pay attention. I know at the back of the room this might be a little bit difficult, but it is amazing. And if you hear the person who laughs incongruously and like a girl, that's me.